Like its predecessor, Part 2 remains a highly influential film, especially in the gangster genre. It is considered to be one of the greatest films of all time, as well as a rare example of a sequel that rivals its predecessor. This film is the first sequel to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. The Godfather and The Godfather Part II remain the only original sequel combination, both to win Best Picture. Along with The Lord of the Rings, The Godfather Trilogy shares the distinction that all of its installments were nominated for Best Picture. Additionally, The Godfather Part II and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King are so far the only sequels to win Best Picture. Al Pacino became the fourth actor to be Oscar nominated twice for playing the same character. The Godfather Part II is a 1974 American epic crime film. The film is produced and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, based on the 1969 novel The Godfather by Mario Puzo, who co-wrote the screenplay with Coppola. It is both a sequel and a prequel to the 1972 film The Godfather. Presenting parallel dramas, one picks up the 1958 story of Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, one of the best performances by him in his career. The new dawn of the Corleone family, protecting the family business in the aftermath of an attempt on his life. The prequel covers the journey of his father, Vito Corleone, played by Robert De Niro, from his Sicilian childhood to the founding of his family enterprise in New York City. Film is almost 200 minutes long. In 1901, in Corleone, Sicily, mafia chieftain Don Ciccio kills the family of 9-year-old Vito Andolini after his father Antonio refuses to pay tribute to Ciccio. Vito escapes New York City and is registered on arrival as Vito Corleone. In 1917, Vito lives in Little Italy with his wife Carmela and their infant son Sonny. He loses his job as a clerk in a grocery store due to the interference of Don Fanucci, a local extortionist. His neighbor Peter Clemenza, played by Bruno Kirby, asks Vito to hide a bag of guns. As thanks, Clemenza enlists Vito's help in stealing a rug which he gives to Carmela. As Pauline Kael wrote in her film review about Coppola, he directs with supreme confidence. He is the inheritor of the traditions of the novel, the theatre and especially opera and movies. The sensibility at work in this film is that of a major artist. The Corleones have two more children, sons Fredo and Michael. Meanwhile, Vito, Clemenza and new partner Salvatore Tessio earn money by stealing dresses and selling them locally door to door. This enterprise attracts the attention at Fanucci, who attempts to extort them for money by threatening to expose their fencing operations to the police. Vito tells his partners he can convince Fanucci to take less than the $600 he has demanded. "I will make an offer he don't refuse," says Vito. They are skeptical but go along with the plan. Vito then meets with Fanucci in a restaurant while people outside celebrate a festival honoring San Rocco. Vito only pays Fanucci $100. Although irritated, Fanucci is impressed with Vito and suggests he work for him. Vito later shoots Fanucci to death at the entrance to Fanucci's apartment while festival revelers set off fireworks outside, neatly masking the sound of the gunshots. Vito retrieves the $100 from Fanucci's wallet and destroys the gun. After that, people come to him with their problems and give him respect. In 1922, Vito and his family travel to Sicily to establish an olive oil importing business from Corleone to Little Italy. He and his business partner, Don Tomasino, visit Don Ciccio, ostensibly to ask for Ciccio's blessing in starting their business. Ciccio, now an old man who has trouble hearing and seeing, doesn't recognize the adult Vito. Ciccio asks Vito to come close so he can hear him. Vito then reveals who he is and slices Ciccio's stomach open, killing him and avenging his family's death. Later, Vito and his family ride a train, waving goodbye to family and friends. Vito's story we see in flashbacks, and this whole part in Italian without subtitles. Still we understand the visual language. Coppola always gives credit to authors, where he adapted the book to screen like Mario Puzo's The Godfather, not Coppola's The Godfather, or Bram Stoker's Dracula, John Grisham's The Rainmaker, etc. In 1958, during his son's first communion party at Lake Tahoe, Michael has a series of meetings in his role as the Don of the Corleone crime family. Frank Pentangeli, played by Michael Gazzo, a Corleone capo, is dismayed that Michael refuses to help defend his Bronx territory against the Rosato brothers, who work for Hyman Roth, played by Lee Strasberg, a Jewish mob boss and long-standing Corleone business partner. Senator Pat Gary, played by G.D. Peradlin, demands a bribe to secure a casino gaming license for Michael. Michael refuses and counters that Gary should pay for the license himself. Connie, played by Talia Shire, recently divorced and wanted to marry another man. She is carelessly roam around the world, not even know about the children. Michael disappoints. Kay, played by Diane Keaton, reminds Michael of his promise of legitimizing the business in 5 years. The promise he gave to Kay 7 years back. He said, "I'm trying." His wife knows he lied to her, just as he lies to a Senate investing committee, and the darkness of his business dealings has invaded his home. He cannot maintain the traditional division of home and business like his father did. That night, a failed assassination attempt at his home prompts Michael to suddenly depart after confiding in consigliere Tom Hagen, played by Robert Duvall, after he suspects a traitor within the family. Like Predecessor Part, cinematographer Gordon Willis interplay light and dark scenes throughout the film. Initially in this part, we see Michael in somewhat dark light. He is serving the narrative as the Nino Rota score does. Michael suspects that Roth planned the assassination but falsely tells Roth he suspects Pentangeli. In New York City, following Michael's instructions, Pentangeli meets the Rosatos at a bar to make peace. However, the Rosatos attempt to strangle him. Tom arrives at Carson City brothel to meet Gary, who has woken up bewildered and horrified next to bloodied corpus of a prostitute. Tom, who like Gary is Irish-American, reassures him that Fredo runs the brothel and that the situation will be taken care of in return for his pledge of friendship to the Corleone family. A sickly Roth, Michael and several of their partners travel to Havana to discuss their future Cuban business prospects under the cooperative government of Fulgencio Batista. Roth is exuberant about their prospects, but Michael has doubts about the government's response to the Cuban Revolution. The scene where Michael reveals he knows Fredo, played by John Cazale, betrayed him, remains one of the greatest scenes in cinema history. By giving Fredo the kiss of death, Michael all but seals Fredo's fate as a marked man. Michael orders hits on Ola and Roth. His enforcer strangles Ola but is killed by Cuban soldiers as he tries to smother Roth. During the ensuing chaos, Michael, Fredo and Roth separately escape Cuba. In Washington, D.C., a Senate Committee on Organized Crime is investigating the Corleone family, but Gary staunchly defends them. Pentangeli agrees to testify against Michael, who he believes had betrayed him to the Rosatos, and is placed under witness protection. On returning to Nevada, Fredo tells Michael that Ola offered him a position of responsibility and that he did not realize Roth was planning a hit. Michael disowns Fredo but orders that he should not be harmed while their mother is alive. Michael sends for Pentangeli's brother from Sicily, and Pentangeli, after seeing his brother in the hearing room, retracts his previous statement implicating Michael in organized crime. The hearing dissolves in an uproar. Kay reveals to Michael that she actually had an abortion, not a miscarriage, and that she intends to leave him and take their children. Outraged, Michael strikes Kay, banishes her from the family, and takes sole custody of the children. Carmela dies some time later, and Michael hurries to wrap up loose ends. At the funeral, he embraces Fredo while giving a stern glance to family enforcer Al Neri, played by Richard Bright. Kay visits her children as she is saying goodbye. Michael arrives and closes the door on her. Roth returns to the United States after being refused asylum and entry to Israel. Shooter assassinates him during an interview at the airport and is shot while fleeing. Hagen visits Pentangeli at the army barracks where he is being held, and the two discuss how failed conspirators against the Roman Empire could save their families by committing suicide. Pentangeli is later found dead in his bathtub, having slit his wrists. At the family compound, Michael calls his son Anthony away before he can join Fredo and Neri on a fishing trip. As Neri shoots Fredo, the gunshot echoes back to the compound where Michael is watching. Michael reminisces about Vito's 50th birthday party. While the family waits to surprise Vito, Michael announces that he has dropped out of college and joined the Marines, angering Sonny and surprising Hagen. Fredo is the only member of the family who supports his decision. Vito is heard opening the door and everyone leaves the room to welcome him, while Michael sits alone. It shows Michael's loneliness and despair. In the present day, Michael sits alone at the family compound looking out over the lake with vacant eyes. Nino Rota and Carmine Coppola's swelling soundtrack intoxicates the frame. Enjoy the film. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and share this video. Do subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the bell icon.